Hey, what's going on, bike people of the internet? Let me introduce to you a mystery bike I've picked up off of Gumtree here in the UK for just £25. So I decided to buy this bike for a few reasons. Mostly it's got some interesting parts on it that I want to use on other builds, and actually buying a bargain bike for a low cost is the best way to get hold of parts, even though you might have to dispose of or hand away the frame and other components to charity. Like bike charities is a good place to send them. There's a couple of parts on here I really wanted, worth £25 alone. So I'm afraid this may be the last ride this bike ever goes on, which is a shame, but the parts are going to get some good use out of them on other builds, and it's a cost-effective way of bike restoring, really. So yeah, here's the possibly the last ride this bike ever goes on. I may turn it into a commuter in the future, but this is just a teardown video at this point in time, and we're going to solve what mystery this bike frame is, because thermonuclear protection is an Oakey brand. So starting at the front of the bike, we have very perished tyres, so they've probably been on the bike at least a decade, I would say. We've got some no-name rims, nothing interesting there, although they must be relatively low budget because they're sort of bolt-through versions. You can see the nut there, an Altus hub, so yeah, probably fine for commuting and stuff like that. Nothing bad with them, but not flash rims. One of the things that caught my attention was this Manitou Comfort, I guess this is from early to mid 90s, probably like 93, 94, 95 maybe. I'm not an expert on this. I think I want to restore this fork and put it on another bike, so that's one of the main reasons for picking up this bike. Moving on up, you can see like it's had some care and attention put into it. So there was a bike computer that was tied onto that cable there. Got some no-name bar ends here, which they look alright for bar ends, but you know, I don't like bar ends. 7-speed grip shift in really good condition actually, so we'll try to rescue those. We got these snazzy anodized blue Tektro brake levers here. We got some titanium bars that have no sweep or bend to them, and titanium bars is already hinting to me at the brand, so you might be able to figure it out if you know bikes that come with titanium bars. Yeah, so we got a matching Tektro blue cable hanger there. No name stem, oh no, zoom stem, sorry, it's got a zoom stem. Threaded headset there, that's interesting. Look at these welds. These welds are like not nice. They almost look like they would have been done with a MIG welder or some lower cost production type process. Interesting, because this would have been a mid 90s bike, I reckon. The cable stops look either brazed on or riveted and bonded onto the aluminium tubes, so that's interesting, I think. And what do you reckon of this paint job? It's like a metallic brown, so I guess it's silver with a brown clear coat. I think it looks really modern and snazzy actually. So no branding on the frame. We have thermonuclear protection, which was an Oakey sunglasses tagline, you know, thermonuclear suns and stuff like that. We've got this ring-glaze style bottle cage, which was one of the things that caught my eye in the advert. I'm guessing it's not a ring-glaze one. I can't see any branding on it, so probably a Trans-X. I think this is an Altus level chain set here, and you can see where it had integrated chain guards, so nothing special. Dior Alex pedals, you've seen these in a video I've made already. They're really rough running, so they need service. I think generally the whole gear is an Altus spec on the bike, nothing flash at all. This is one thing that really caught my eye, because I've been after one of these, a DC-DC, a Dave's chain device by Mr. Crud. I want to restore this. It doesn't look very flash at the moment. Altus level rear mech. Again, nothing flash. It's probably what came with the bike, and it's been upgraded as it goes along. Again, same type of rear wheel, bolts, nothing flash. And then we have this Tektro style rear brake here, which is not in very good light, so let me sort that out now. So I've just grabbed my little studio light here to sort of make this is the dark corner of my garage. Perish tyres, we have these anode blue Tektro rear brakes. I think they're pretty nice. It's a shame the front one isn't a matching set, but maybe we can find one in the future. So I think they're pretty cool and snazzy. Yeah, overall, it's got a massive saddle on it with springs and everything else. Yeah, nothing great though. Actually, I'd be intrigued to see how much that weighs. And here's another clue, 30.0 seat post. I think some of you may know what that is. And we have this quick release here, which I think looks like a Marin quick release to me, but nothing confirmed. So yeah, this is thermonuclear protection, a mystery bike for the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think it is, because at the end I think I figured it out. So yeah, let me know now and see if we align. So let's get this breakdown or teardown underway. So as always with my teardowns, we're going to start by removing the pedals, the chain set and the bottom bracket, because these are the troublesome areas of the bike where things are likely to get stuck and you'll be wailing and really leaning on the bike whilst it's in a stand. It's not good. So let's get these up removed with the wheels on the bike so we can put sort of maximum body pressure if something is tight. But fortunately these pedals were barely bolted on. They come off really easily. So I forgot to do one thing, that's check for chain wear, and as you can see the chain tool falls straight through the chain and rattles around quite a lot as well. So these chain and cassettes quarantined straight in the bin. We don't want them anywhere in our parts supply system because they're so badly worn out, and to be honest they look a bit mucky and horrible. So yeah, straight for the recycling. I'm afraid these have exceeded their wear limits and are not really suitable for use on any other bike projects. So yeah, always check your chain, people. It's one of the most cost-effective things you can do on your bicycle, really. Time to remove the chain and put it in the bin. Oh wait, that's not my channel, but you know where my musical influence might come from if you know that saying. You can see the crank bolt covers have been levered out a bit on this bike by screwdrivers and whatnot. It's not the best way to do it. Just get a coin, like a 2p or 10 pence. It's the easiest way to remove these, I found myself. So yeah, there's a little hack for you there if you want to remove these. Use a coin, not a screwdriver. It's the best way to remove them. So removing the chain set next. Always go fishing for loose washers in here because it can really screw things up if you don't check for loose washers first. And make sure your crank extractor is fully home. Use a spanner, don't just do it finger tight, make sure it's fully home because there may be dirt or muck in the threads. Yeah, that's the only precautions you really need on these. Just make sure there's no washers hiding in there that you're pulling against accidentally. And cranks generally come off pretty easily. With both sides of the chain set removed, let's move on to removing the bottom bracket. And traditionally I've had problems removing bottom brackets because, you know, they get rusted into frames or galvanic corroded into frames. So I always do this with the wheels on the bike, so you're not sort of levering against a seat post, which, you know, if you had a lightweight carbon seat post or something fragile, you may end up damaging it. Whereas if you leave the wheels on the bike, you can put your full body weight against the wheels because, you know, they're designed to carry your body weight over bumps and jumps and whatnot. So yeah, it's always much more reliable way of removing a stock bottom bracket. But in this case, it's coming out pretty easily, so no dramas. Although, as I say that, did you notice how much dust and dirt is falling out of this bottom bracket shell? It's quite a pile on the floor. I'll show you in a minute. But yeah. That doesn't look great in there. but the bottom bracket is surprisingly smooth, so good work engineering that one, Shimano. Onto the plastic drive side cup now, and that comes out no problems at all, and we can fully reveal the horrors that are hiding inside this bottom bracket shell. As you can see, we have a small desert's worth of sand, dust and crud building up in here. It's quite extraordinary really. Maybe it's a label that's peeled off, let's be generous, and disintegrated in the bottom bracket, but to me that looks like dried up mud. So I'm not sure how that ever gets into a bike. Maybe it's down through the seat post or something like that, but it's quite extraordinary really. With the chain set, pedals and bottom bracket removed, I popped the bike into the work stand so we can complete the rest of this teardown. Let's start by removing the wheels. So yeah, these brakes are working pretty good when I rode the bike. It's a bit of a shame really, but yeah, let's remove the wheels, and obviously they're kind of annoying because they got axle nuts rather than a quick release or something like that. I mean, it's great because it's secure, and if you're parking up in town, that's perfect really, but if you have a puncture on your commute, that's not very good at all. Let's unhinge this Tektro rear brake, and question for the audience. In 2024, what do you think of the brand Tektro, looking back at it? Because at the time it was kind of a cheap Taiwanese brand that made some really interesting coloured parts that performed really well. But it was kind of a bit snobbish back in the late 90s, at least when I started getting into biking. People were like, Tektro, but in reality I think they made great products at affordable prices for people. So yeah, what are your views on Tektro components? I guess Tektro is TRP now, I think. Let me know in the comments if that's right. Tektro turned into TRP. Yeah, so there, anyhow, there's the rear wheel removed. Let's get on and remove that DC-DC. Now the DC-DC is one of the main reasons I bought this bike, because to buy these off of eBay or Amazon, eBay anyhow, they cost around £15 to £25 anyhow, so literally one of the main factors of buying this bike was this DC-DC. But when I went to remove it, I noticed something quite interesting. Here's a silver DC-DC, you think a bit tarnished, could be polished, but when I undo it from the bike, look what happens. It's purple on the inside. So did someone buy a purple DC-DC then polish off the anodized purple, so this is just a raw aluminium DC-DC now? It's interesting, this bike stuff, I think, like how people modify their bikes. I reckon this was a purple DC-DC at one point in time, and it's been polished back to raw aluminium silver. Anyhow, we'll restore that in another video. It's a shame this bike doesn't have a pair of these Tektro anodized blue cantilever brakes. I think they would look quite good on my fluoro yellow Marin Berlinus Ridge. I kind of think that would be a good colour contrast, so if you want to watch that video, I'll link it up above right now. Yeah, maybe I'll look on eBay or something like that and keep an eye out for a second set of these Anno Blue Tektro brakes. Because all I need is calipers. Obviously it's got two hangers each end in Anno Blue and Anno Blue levers. I think it could look pretty good overall on a different build. What do you think of this Altus rear mech? I think it's a pretty ugly rear mech compared to some of the other period correct things like I did on the Saracen build. I'll link the Saracen build up above. That rear mech was lovely, I thought, but this one, not for me. Just like a horrible press steel, quite ugly and utilitarian looking. It's not my style. All these parts will get cleaned up and potentially reused in the future, so on other projects, so yeah, nothing's going to waste in this build. Bottle cage next, and yeah, look at it. Do you reckon it's a real Ringley one? Somehow I doubt it. I think Tektro might have built similar, or RSP built similar things, but this definitely was someone's pride and joy. Look, they've put anodized blue bolts onto it, so yeah, someone really cared for this bike back in the day. Bar ends next. I think these bar ends had the anodizing removed, similar to DC. They're a similar finish. They got no branding on them, so I think they're probably anodized and had the color removed from them. So, because they're kind of tarnished and flat looking, and most bar ends are still quite polished from that point in time. So, I think someone had a multitude of colors and moved these parts onto this bike, and yeah, that's what they've done. They removed the anodizing. I wanted to maintain these grip shift grips because they weren't sticky or horrible, so I'm being very precious with them, removing them, trying to use zip ties underneath, try to not destroy them whilst removing them from the bike. And the whole grip shift system, although people generally don't like grip shift too much, is working really well on this bike. So yeah, they're definitely going in the parts bin for a budget build or something along those lines. They're perfectly fine, not sticky or horrible, so yeah, definitely reusable. I can't see any branding on the front brake calipers, so or cantilevers, so I'm assuming they're Alta spec ones like most of the components on this bike. But I would definitely save this little anode blue cable hanger, and like I said, it's definitely a shame that it doesn't have Tektro anodized blue cantilever brakes on the front as well, because I definitely could have reused that set somewhere else. I'm definitely sort of half shopping for a deal on eBay for those for a build in the future. With all the controls removed, we can remove these titanium bars. They're very strange. They're obviously painted. They're incredibly light, but yeah, there's no sweep to them at all. They're just dead flat tapered bars. They're very peculiar, so I've got a feeling I know the brand that made those. Removing the big sofa saddle now, and this thing weighs like 800 grams. It's incredibly heavy. There's road bikes frames that are lighter in that saddle. Zoom stem next. I definitely can reuse this, and I realised something at this point, that this bike has a threaded 1.1/8 steerer tube on it. It's not a standard inch. I was expecting an inch steerer tube on this bike, but it's an 1.8". Everything's slightly oversized, which is good, because actually a lot of this stuff could go on a Kona I just finished, which I'll link above. Kona Syndicone 1993. Should I restore this Monaco comp fork and put it on the 93 Kona Syndicone? This is the sort of options this bike opens up to everybody. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Would you place a Project 2 on a Syndicone with these Monaco comp forks if they get restored? Let me know in the comments. Time for a quick scrub down now to remove all the dirt and grime from the frame. Then let's discuss what we think this bike might be, because I think I've figured it out. So let's have a detailed fly around the frame and see if we can pick out anything that identifies it. Let's start at the head tube. So we've got some peculiar welding here. To me this looks like it's MIG welded or some sort of non-TIG process, whereas at other points in the frame it definitely is TIG welded together. So maybe that tube there isn't, but the seat stays definitely are. So maybe they're trying to robotize the process, or industrialize it in some way. Bottom bracket, the welding's kind of messy. Not sure what process. Kind of looks like TIG but badly done. But in other places it's pretty neat like that. Bridge there is pretty neat. Some nice sort of profiling in the chainstays there, which is kind of interesting. Dropouts, again, they look unique to me. There's nothing that stands out that says it's this bike or that bike from those dropouts. Obviously it's non-replaceable. Up the seat stays, they're quite oversized and chunky, which is kind of cool. And again, I've mentioned this before, I really like this metallic brown colour. It's pretty neat. So, first clue, 30.0 seat post. There's one brand out there that likes 30.0 seat posts on their sort of semi-performance bikes. We've got some nice anodized blue bottle cage bottles. I need to steal off of this again still. So this thermonuclear protection sticker, the paste stickers, the stiff stickers and stuff like that, I feel like they might have come out of a MB UK magazine or been bought from a shop at some point in time, because they're definitely not original to the bike, unless it was a Oakey promotional bike of some sort, which I kind of doubt. But here's the smoking gun. On the bottom bracket cable guide it's branded Raleigh, so it may, I think this bike's a Raleigh. Some reverse Google image searching, and I only found one image on a Gumtree sale. I found this picture, so I think this is a Raleigh Ogre alloy. That's what I think it is. Maybe Raleigh Max Ogre, not 100% sure, but it's Ogre alloy, I think. The bike pictures has an Altus drivetrain like our bike had, but it's got trigger shifters, which is a bit different, and the brakes look the same as the brake on the front, and the frame characteristics look exactly the same to me. So yeah, I think this is a rally ogre of some description. So yeah, that's about it for this video. It feels a shame to take a bike apart and not use it, but the bike's slightly too small for me. It really needs some rigid forks, which I'm not keen on investing in, some peculiar sized rigid forks. And yeah, I'm about done with it. I'm going to restore the DC-DC and the forks and use them again and find homes for the other parts. But at this point in time, I don't know what to do with a frame. I might just offer it to charity. So you let me know if you've got an idea, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.